Alrighty, folks, what's going on? We are here with another reaction video, and I don't know how this is going to go because when you make a statement about why the PlayStation Vita is better than the Steam Deck, you damn well better make sure you're bringing the right kind of stuff. So let's roll into it and see what Homeboy here has to say. Hopefully it's not full of dumb. I guess we'll find out. Usually statement of fact videos and the title, not a great indication. Not gonna lie.
The other day, I had a friend tell me, or he begged me basically, to say, you've got to try this new Steam Deck. It's the talk of the town. Everyone's going on about it. You can play any game you want. It's fantastic, and it's a handheld from, I don't know, for the PC basically, but it's just, he just couldn't stop going on about it. And I said, yes, I'll give it a go. I'll try it out. I'm a big fan of handhelds. Yeah, give me a week with it. And after playing it for a week, I thought, yeah, it is pretty good. You get to play all these new games. I could play The Witcher 3 on it. I could play all these. It's really good with emulation. I can play Nintendo 64 games, PS2 games, anything under the sun. But after a week with it, I kind of came to the point where he's saying, are you going to buy one yourself? Surely, it's awesome, don't you think? I said, yeah, it's good, but I don't think I'm going to get one myself. I think there's still a device out there that's better. And it came out 11 years ago. The device I am, of course, talking about is the PS Vita, which came out, I don't know, 2011, 2012? I don't know. But somehow it's remained intact, full battery and all. This thing hasn't aged a day. It's a marvel, this thing. It's a
Intact, fully charged, hasn't aged a day in 11 years. Bruh, are you still how old you were 11 years ago, 12 years ago? The answer's nah. And guess what? Your batteries are wired a little bit different too now as opposed to what they were 10 or 11 years ago. You don't have the energy reserves. Newsflash, neither does your fucking Vita.
It's a Rolls Royce, it's the Porsche, it's the Rolex, it is the hot chick in the classroom that you will never get a date with. This thing is absolutely gorgeous and it's still clocking and somehow it's still relevant and actually better than its competition of the modern day. I don't know how that's possible. Actually, I do know how that's possible and I'm going to tell you, but this thing never ceases to amaze, especially after it's just been jailbroken. It's just opened up a whole new realm of possibilities, not to mention all the homebrew people and the community behind it have just made this.
All right, so you already threw yourself under the bus with how I'm going to see this video go. You talked homebrew, and that's what makes the Vita and the community around it so amazing, and blah, 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 blah. From a physical hardware perspective, and, the community, I'm not talking about the company that made it, device. Okay, cool. Here's the thing. 99.9% of people aren't gonna fucking jailbreak shit. Look at this isn't the iPhone where you had to jailbreak stuff to get copy and paste. The Vita is a dedicated gaming handheld device. Its sole fucking function is gaming. And 90% of the ancillary bullshit that Sony allowed, Netflix, etc., has been stripped from the device. This is an 11-year-old portable ARM-based console. To put this into perspective, the Ouya had essentially better specs than the Vita. Like, if you're strictly talking spec for spec, the closest device from a one-to-one comparison device, the closest one you're going to find is probably the original NVIDIA Shield Portable. But if we're talking community, I would say the Steam Deck has the better community. And for one reason, and only one reason. Valve works with community to incorporate features into the device. Sony works against the community to keep features and functions off the device. Core difference.
Made this thing get better and better with age. So yeah, let me take you through why this little beast is better than the latest monster, the Steam Deck. So you put these two together and yeah, look at it. Steam Deck is smashing it in almost every category. It's got more RAM, it's got more memory, it's got bigger collection of games, it's got basically anything. But the only problem I had with it, or not really problems, just areas where it lacked in terms of PS Vita, is that it is cumbersome. I mean, this thing is big. It's huge. Compared to the PS Vita, it's quite big. Now, it's not to mean it's not, you know, good to control and good grip and feels good and all that stuff. But, you know, one of the reasons you have a handheld device is to take on traveling. You know, traveling, you're always, you know, either reading a book or on your phone. It's the best place kind of to game. And that's where people think they're going to use the Steam Deck and have a good time gaming. Now, every time I used it for gaming, I just didn't get that enjoyable experience. It was too big to get it out of my bag, and you can't fit it in your pocket like a PS Vita. You have to put it in your bag, and you're probably putting it in a protective sleeve like my friend has, and it's big. It took up a lot of space in my bag, and then when I pulled it out, took it out of the case, turned it on, got all the thing going, I don't know, people were looking at me like an idiot. It's basically a laptop. Why wouldn't you have a laptop and just be gaming on your laptop? There's a reason
God help me if this keeps going where I think it's going.
why people don't do it. It's because it's too...
Okay, anyway. So, we've heard the laptop argument before. Simple. Laptop controller needed. No gamer in their right mind, PC gamer or otherwise, is going to use a fucking trackpad to game. No one. Even the trackpads on here, I would not use the game. Personal preference, sure, works for maybe RTS and stuff on the go, but no fucking gamer worth their salt at all, console or otherwise, is gonna fucking use a trackpad to game. So add the controller, add the laptop, and the physical space that is much bigger than this is going to take up. The fact that you have two areas that you can use a laptop in, your lap or a fucking table. That's it. Have fun. So at least with this, I can game up here, down here, down here, over here, here. Situational is much more with that than a fucking laptop. Not counting the charger, battery, battery life could be better. I'm not going to argue that point. But also on a gaming laptop, you're going to get maybe 2 to 4 hours, depending what you're doing, with one with a discrete GPU. So you need more space with a laptop. You need more accessories. You need controllers, external stuff. That's why you wouldn't use a laptop. Whereas this, you can position around and have less space. Does this take up more space in a bag because of the bulk in this direction? Okay, sure. I would argue that a laptop takes up more space in this direction and the width of a bag that it takes up. It might be thinner, but it's also longer. So take your pick. Which one do you want? You're going to use the same amount of space. One's just condensed down. The other is spread out. That's really what it is. Now, physical size between the two, yes, you are correct. The Vita is smaller. I wouldn't call the Vita fucking pocketable, though, unless you got some Jinkos, bruh. So, you're still going to put the Vita in a case. For one simple reason. If you're throwing the Vita in your pocket, hope you ain't got skinny jeans on and some tight ass pockets. Because realistically, what you're going to do is you're going to fuck up those analog nubs, sticks, whatever you want to call them, on the Vita. And having owned a Vita since 2013, I can tell you, stick drift isn't a thing on the Switch. Like, it's a thing on all of them. I've had PlayStation 3 controllers shit the bed on me, PS4 controllers, Switch controllers. I've had a few Wii U Pro controllers shit the bed on me, and the same deal. So, and the fact that you stated that this is perfect, doesn't have any scratches or what, is in good condition or whatever the hell you said, after 11 years, I think is kind of shows where you are on the spectrum when it comes to your fanboyism. And that's fine, be a fanboy and talk about what you want. But like, so far, the reasons have been kind of bullshit. Physical dimensions, yes, smaller device. Totally, like, physical, actual device. Reasons for preference is kind of bullshit because you still have to apply the same thing to the other device, which is a protective case.
It's too big, it's too awkward, you're just balancing it on your lap. This one, of course, you're gripping it with your hands, but I don't know, compared to the PS Vita, it's a real effort, and I don't know, I just didn't enjoy gaming on it, to tell you the truth, when I was either on a plane, on a train, or just commuting to or fro, or even just in between work, and you've got a bit of time. Look, it's enjoyable, it works, you can get into it. If you can ignore all the people passing you by and all that stuff as you're trying to play these games, it's alright. But, I don't know, I just think in that area, the PS Vita is so much better because you can basically just put the PS Vita in your pocket, you can game away, and then when you hit your stop or whatever, you just press that top button, pauses it, throw it back in your pocket, and you're off and you're running. And then you can pick that up 5 minutes later. Anything that happens, if someone
fucking logic, none? What? Okay, so you're talking about sleep state and all that stuff, the thing you can do on the Switch and all that jazz. Bruh, you can do that damn thing on the here. Now, if you're talking about specifically having to throw it back in throw it back in the case, then throw it back in your bag, you're also the same person who made the recommendation of why not just game on a laptop? What? Holy shit, logic. Not like, oh, wow. And like I said, you're still going to have to throw the Vita back in a case and back in your bag, because the case is going to add width and bulk that's not going to fit into most fucking pockets like the Vita with the Vita, like you're supposedly saying it's getting. So, flawed logic there already.
If someone stops you, you don't have to go, oh, let me move this gigantic thing and put it back in my bag. It's just straight in your pocket. It's just so easy to use. It's so versatile and flexible. I don't know. I just think the PS Vita has it hands down when it comes just traveling in terms of gaming. And on that same note, if you're traveling and you're playing games, just AAA games just don't work. I mean, I tried to play The Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk and Red Dead 2, and as much as it's like, wow, I'm playing these games on a device as I'm on the train, but
I can't play AAA games. Yeah, I'm playing The Witcher 3, Cyberpunk, Red Dead, showed Forza, and I'm playing to quote you, I'm playing these games on the train, but they can't play. Fucking what? Oh my god! Like aneurysm. Ugh. There's a reason I wear a hat.
But I'm not really enjoying the game. It's just too many things going on in a train. You can't really focus. You've got people talking in the background, people moving around. You have to keep moving if people get off and off for a stop.
So you're saying that this device makes you too situationally aware around about the stuff going on around you, but you don't apply the same logic to this device or the Vita. I'm not sure what to say to that, because that makes absolutely goddamn no sense. I am as situationally aware of playing the deck as I am when I'm on this damn thing, or vice versa when it was the Vita, or the 3DS, or the DS, or the GBA-SP, etc. Your situational awareness is determined by you. So that, and if you do not apply that same thought process and logic about, I'm too concerned about all the shit going on around me because of the device, it's not a device problem, it's a you problem, especially in this case. Again, I'm going to say, if you want to be a Vita fan and all that stuff, cool. I had a Vita for a long time, multiple versions. In fact, OLED's still better than the 2000 model. Not going to lie. Better colors, better everything on that one. Better solid construction feel to it. The fact is, though, this is what a personal preference that you're trying to state as a consensual, factual conclusion. And that is so wrong on so many levels. Not the perfect device. Far from it. It has areas it can improve a ton. Just not gonna fanboy for it. You know, some people would say I have. But on the same note, I am not unaware of its weaknesses. So the simple fact that you say an 11-year-old ARM-based device is comparable to current things, even in the Switch, even, whatever, insert Android handheld here, that's wow.
Stop. It's just not as enjoyable. You can't really get invested in those big games. As much as it is good to play, I think the best kind of game to play whilst you're commuting is those side-scrolling adventures like 2D platformers, or Nintendo 64 games are fantastic, little platformers. Games you can kind of pick up and go, get a quick star, get a quick high score, something like that. And the thing is, the PS Vita has all those games perfectly. Jailbroken PS Vita can play Nintendo 64 games, it can play SNES games, Super NES games, all that stuff. I will say with the Nintendo 64 games, you're probably getting the best out of it, except you aren't getting some big titles like Rogue Squadron, Conker's Bad Fur Day, or GoldenEye, which is a bit of a letdown, but you do get most of the library. I don't know, I'm pretty happy with it. I'm happy where it is with the Nintendo 64 playability. It's going to keep me going for a while. But yeah, that's where the PS Vita shines again, is that you get to play these little games.
Again, do note, that's where it shines. For me. That's where it works best for me. This is a for you video, bro, and that's fine. But goddamn, this is a situational, subjective view when you're trying to view something and present something as objective fact. Big difference.
Little games on this little device that's so easy to hold, whereas the Steam Deck, it's too much of an effort for the little gaming I wanted to play with. So
it's great to hold. So bro, I don't know about you, I played 100-hour JRPGs on that damn device, and I'll tell you, it is the most uncomfortable fucking thing to hold after a while. That flat back with those very little indentations where your fingers would actually rest before the back trackpad. 100% garbage. I can say the same for the Switch. Just having the hooks where the right and left triggers are on the normal Joy-Cons, 100% garbage. That tells me how fanboyism is for you, because objectively, this is more comfortable for me to hold for long periods of time. And that's just not me saying that. Looking at the device. Ergonomically speaking, it has been constantly said by multiple people that the default Joy-Cons on the Nintendo Switch are trash. And I will concur 100% with that. When the recommended default controllers are the Hurai, I think it's split sticks or split pad or whatever the hell they're calling it, over the default Joy-Con set that you buy from Nintendo, says a ton. And I mean a ton about the default ergonomics of it. So a flat back on like a phone is also trash as well, because there's nothing to define where you're actually on other than maybe a camera module. So no. While ergonomically speaking, I think the Vita is better than the 3DS was, I still find the Vita ergonomically after a longer gaming session to be horrid. Again, personal preference, I would say objectively, while more comfortable than its competitors at the time, if you're comparing it as a one-to-one, like what you're trying to do, is a bunch of bullshit on that. Because ergonomically, my hand, a natural resting hand position is much more comfortable than doing this for 10, 15 hours or 100 hours like I did with Persona 4 Golden. Just saying.
I think that's where the Vita really beats it down. Where does that leave it? It leaves gaming either at home or far away. Now, if you're going to play a AAA title, a big Witcher 3, Red Dead Redemption 2, if you're going to play those titles at home on this Steam Deck, where you have a bit more peace and quiet and a bit more time to, really enjoy it, then why don't you just play it on the PC or the PlayStation 4 or 5 that you've got on the TV right next to you? I mean, is it better to play it with it like this, or sitting down on a couch watching it from a big TV? So yeah.
It allows people to be more present. The thing you detested about the deck, apparently, it's too much effort, I'm too aware of my surroundings, etc., is the very reason people, like parents, I found, at least to the parents I've talked to that have the device, why they like it is because it gets them out of the fucking in front of the computer, in front of the TV, and they can go and, make dinner and, I got 20 minutes, I can fire up a game and not have to go out to the computer or go out and be situationally aware and not get lost in the bullshit like we do when we're, gaming on a PC, on a console, etc. That's why. So the thing you hate about it is the thing a lot of people with that limited interaction time love about it, because it gets them out of that situation. Like, I can speak for me. This is my recording studio, but guess what? That device allows me to take all that bullshit home without the headaches and space constraints and sitting in a recording studio for 10, 15 hours sometimes, doing streams or video editing or whatever. The last damn thing I want to see is not so much a screen, but the last damn thing I want to see is a fucking controller or a PC in front of me that I have to interact with on some level, that I can't just hit a button and it goes away. Not to mention space constraints on my own personal living situation. But the fact of the matter is, what this allows parents specifically, that freedom to untether from a specific area and still have some entertainment on the go that they find entertaining. It's a novel concept. You know, people want to compare it to the Switch. This is why the Switch is so damn successful. I mean, that, you know, you could talk about the Switch, the OG Switch was successful. Why, if that's the case, then why did Nintendo come out with the Switch Lite? It's because it found that more people were playing it portable, because the people can determine where, when, and how they want to play their games and their entertainment. That's the strength of that device. It's not tethered to a specific area. Something I don't think people will get. At least you don't.
Yeah, I think in that category, when are you going to use that? Actually play these big games? Not at home, not on traveling in the workplace. The only other thing I can think of is when you go traveling really far and you don't have a PS4 or a computer next to you in a hotel or something like that. Then that's perfect. That's perfect time to sit down, play those games on your little device, wherever you want. But the thing is, the PS Vita can already do that. You can actually play AAA titles on this via remote play with the PS4. Now, they originally advertised it as something you only do at home. So if somebody else wanted to use the TV, you'd pick up your PS Vita and you continue playing the game. Now, I don't know why they sold it so short, but I've been using this remote play to play miles and kilometers away from where I live. In the middle of the park, I can connect this to my phone's Wi-Fi and just connect to my PS4 and start playing. And it plays seamlessly. I mean, the connection's fantastic. I've got very good internet, I will say that. But I was also playing Apex Legends on the train whilst I was trying it out. I lost the game. There was a bit of a glitch or two as we went through some tunnels, but I played through a couple of games, and I was just amazed at the connection on this thing. I was also playing it the other day, 200 meters underground at the train station whilst I was waiting for a train. It was about 10 minutes away. I had a game of Callisto Protocol, and it was fantastic. No one was around. It was much better to play with. But, you know, it has all those options. So there's a couple of reasons.
Yes, it has all those options that Sony never fucking supported in the first place. When the PS4 came out, the Vita went from a dedicated handheld to a accessory device. And then it became the forgotten bastard child that Sony never mentioned ever again. So as far as AAA games, guess what? Same damn thing you just talked about, streaming and all the other crap, you can do on the same damn device with your entire Steam collection from a PC as well. Or if you want to do xCloud, or if you want to do, you know, GeForce Now, if you want to do a insert service here, you can probably do it. Not gonna lie, you can do PlayStation Now, you can do Xbox, you can do Game Cloud, and you can do all the other stuff. So I'm just saying, like, your reason is kind of moot. It's a moot issue. It's a moot point. Yeah, cool. It did it first. Awesome. Doesn't mean it doesn't mean it's best. Doesn't mean that it's bad or shouldn't be done, or it's like, if it works for you, cool. But you're selling that device short as well, not just people selling the Vita short. Again, the Vita was well ahead of its time, and Sony did a shit job supporting it. Proprietary memory cards, exorbitant cost on those, the proprietary port on the original model, you know, just so many things they did wrong with it. But this is very much a video of why I view the Vita as better than the Steam Deck for me. And that's fine. Again, I know why these videos do well is because the clickbaity kind of factual statement opinion is just how it is. But you're being subjective in what should be an objective point of view, or as objective as you can be. And subjective is great, but it's not consensual fact or consensual opinion. What generically consensual is opinion is comes from a very majority of consensus coming together around a take or a fact or something presented. And this is going to be one that is very not that and very you. So hence subjective opinion. Might be fact for a personal fact, but it's not consensual fact.
Reasons why the Vita kind of outplays the Steam Deck. But also, I'd just like to say that the PS Vita is a work of art that was basically ahead of its time, I think. I always thought it had great potential. It needed a bit more love, and it got that love when people started opening it up and really giving it, a lot of attention and giving these homebrew ports and doing all the things that they're doing now. It's fantastic, the range of games and all the updates and just what the community is doing. Now, that may happen for the Steam Deck. The Steam Deck's got a whole lot more potential. It's got better emulation with, DS games. You can play Wii games. I think you can even play some Switch games on there. I mean, if you want a range of games to play, if you want to play that game that you just can't find the old console for or whatever, the Steam Deck can do that for you. And the Vita can only do so much. But my thing with that is I just feel that the Vita's got enough already. I mean, you can do NES games, SNES games, Vita games are very underrated. They're fantastic. Uncharted Golden Abyss, my god. Nintendo 64 games. I'm hoping for an update on that. I think the Nintendo 64 compatibility with this thing just works so well. I love playing Nintendo 64 games on my Vita. I mean, you've got pretty much all the good games there you want. So I'm pretty happy where it's at, but it could be better. But at the same time...
No, I'm pretty happy. I think it's better. It's got everything everybody wants. Bruh, as much as I generically hate using the statement, you don't speak for everybody, in this particular case, you're going to be in the far minority in the fact that you think the Vita is what everybody wants, or offers everything everybody wants. There's these weird things like actual support for the fucking device that everybody wants. The Vita never fucking got.
Same time, we're not getting the Wii games, you're not getting the DS games. I'm also thinking though, I'm only really going to play about 2 or 3 of those games on those different consoles, and they're mainly Mario and Zelda games that I missed out on.
Again, I'm only going to play X, Y, or Z. And as far as the deck and its emulation, Yuzu, however you want to pronounce it, CMU, etc. I'm probably going to, whatever the PS3 acronym emulation is, I'm going to butcher that. I always do. You can do all that on the deck, bro. So, God, this hurts my head. So, short version, this is why I think the deck, or this is why I think the Vita is better than the deck. Okay, cool. I can respect that. Works best for you. Opinion as fact, not so much.
I'd like if someone ported them to, but I'm not really crying about not being able to play GameCube games or Wii games at this state. But you've still got so much more on offer. I mean, you've got the entire PS1 library, PSP library, you've got all the PS2 classics on there, like Jak and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank Collection, God of War. They all play brilliantly. You can earn trophies on there. Yeah, you can earn the achievements on Steam Deck, but as a PlayStation fan, I love doing trophies. I love being able to grind out games and complete them to 100%.
And in those 2 words, you just said everything I expected as a PlayStation fan. Nothing wrong. Admit your bias, admit your fanboyism low. Don't make me wait 11 minutes, or 30 minutes after I started recording. Don't make me wait 11 minutes into the video, even though I could already make that determination a while ago. that you're a fanboy. It's fine. Rep your device, bruh. But I hate and detest fanboy opinion that is hoard out as fact. Well, it can do this. Okay, cool. Guess what? It can do this and that too. So, like, it. You're a fanboy. Cool. Whatever. Rep your device, bro. Rep your device.
There's just so much I love with the PS Vita that still works, that's still going to keep me coming back. And the other thing is, I said before, it's lasted 11 years. This little piece of hardware, this thing, has lasted 11 years, not a scratch on it. Not to mention, it's got all these weird gimmicks on it that I love. You've got a rear-facing camera and a front-facing camera. You've got a touchscreen and a back touchscreen. The only thing it's missing, and I wish if they ever did a PS Vita 2, which would be amazing. I can only just imagine what it could be possible with that thing. And, you know, maybe make that remote play compatible with the PS5. But I'd add a second R trigger. Now, they do have little things where you press the back buttons and the touchpad, which, you know, it does work, I have to say. But, you know, that second R trigger or L trigger really would be a bit of a help. But, you know, this thing is so good. It keeps offering more and more. I hang out every day for a new update or a new game or whatever the community kind of puts out there. But yeah, with the Steam Deck, I'm not saying the Steam Deck is terrible. Of course it's not. It's the latest thing. It's probably the best thing out there. I just think the PS Vita is more compatible with what people want. I think.
No, you think the PS Vita is more compatible with what you want. You said you, I think. For me, X, Y, all about you. So hence, personal experience, cool. This is why it works well for me. Hence the reason I don't need to look at a Steam Deck, etc. You can extrapolate your opinion and quote unquote justify your view without trying to wrap everybody else into a demographic or group into that opinion. This is why I hate these fucking videos.
Like, especially if you want gaming on the go, on the train, in the car, on the plane, you know, it just beats the Steam Deck, I feel, in terms of, you know, just putting it in your pocket and like not being so cumbersome. It's just so easy to kind of deal with. So, yeah, they're my.
It's just so cumbersome and can't put it in your pocket like a Vita until I have to get a case for the fucking Vita so I don't destroy the joysticks. So I don't scratch the screen, especially if I have the OLED model. Or if I don't scratch up the back because the back is a, you know, scratch magnet, etc., etc. And he wants to talk about longevity and community and all the other crap. As I said, I believe I said earlier in the video, there's a difference in approach. Valve works with the community to implement ideas. Sony impedes the community to stop ideas on the hardware. The reason you have things like Mango HUD on the Steam Deck is because of community work that was done in Linux. It was a community project not done by Valve originally. So, yeah. Difference in mentality. Sony impedes, console manufacturers as a whole impede. I love the Wii U, but guess what? The eShop's getting shut the fuck down. That impedes the community, which leads the community to do things like CMU and emulation and all the other stuff, etc. So, yeah. Another opinion based... another opinion trying to masquerade as fact. I would say I'm shocked, but I'm fucking not. So, other than that, bro, all I'm just going to simply say is be the fanboy you want to be. Just don't state opinions as fact. It's so fucking annoying. I get it. It's playing the YouTube game and the algorithm game. It's like this is how it works. But god damn, is it fucking annoying as hell? Because really, it boils down to a subjective take with a personal experience that works best for this one situation, which is an outlier. Whereas generically, for me, I prefer to have a much more consensualized opinion based around facts and things and statistics that are presented, and to come to that consensual conclusion amongst a majority of a group. It's a damn thing. Not saying it's always right. Definitely isn't. But at least it's an attempt to be informed. Your video has shown me, situation. The only thing that you have presented that is a factual statement is the size of the actual Vita compared to the deck. Good on you. Good, you can tell the observational skills work there at least. Other than that, I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.